Okay. Today is October 27th, 2023. My name is Natalie Mann, and I'm interviewing Nir Shani from Kibbutz Be'eri for HSC Shoah Foundation. We're in the Dead Sea, the David Hotel, and the language will be in English. So, first of all, thank you for being with us today, and
Thank you for the opportunity to speak out.
you can tell us anything you want, and if you want to stop the interview at any time, we'll stop. This is only what you want to say. Now we'll begin the interview. So, hi, Neil. Could you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about
My
yourself.
name is Nir Shani. I'm 46 years old for the next 2 weeks, and then I'll be 47. I'm a physiotherapist. I live in Kibbutz Be'eri since I was born. I divorced last year, and I have 4 children. Mika, which is 18, and wasn't with us on October 7th. Amit, which is 16, and he was kidnapped. Emma, who is 12, and Rani, and she is 9.
So can you take us back to October 7th? From the moment
Okay,
you woke up?
I'll start with my story, and later on I'll tell about my son. It started around 6:30 when I heard some bombs, which is not unusual in our area. I thought maybe Air Force is bombing Gaza for some reason. I wasn't following the news those 2-3 last days because my older daughter, she got a room separated from us in the kibbutz, and me and her, we went to buy furniture and fix her room and clean it. So that was my focus on that last 2 days. Around 7:15, I think, there was an alarm, like red color. So I got up from my bed, I put short pants and a shirt, and I went to the to the safe room in my house. I was alone that Saturday because it was a weekend that the kids are with my ex-wife. And when I've been to the safe room, after let's say 10-15 minutes, I started to hear gunshots, which is very unusual. So I made a phone call to my ex-wife, and she said, yeah, we have an application in the kibbutz that send messages like the pool will be closed at that time, there is some cultural event at this day, and so on. And there is also a security messages go there, and they said there might be a penetration to the kibbutz, so lock yourself in the safe rooms and don't get out. So I went out and I locked all the doors and I covered the windows. I can't really lock all my house because there is mainly glasses on the back side of my house, so it's easy to penetrate. But I did what I could, and I returned to the safe room. And then I started to hear Arabic, very loud, lots of shouting and gunshots. And someone tried to enter my house and break the door, but they didn't succeed. And it felt like I'm surrounded with terrorists all around. And it seems like they are ready for a battle. And that was the situation for about an hour or maybe 2 hours. And around 9:30, there were a lot of people coming in a second wave. like a mob from the Gaza Strip of Palestinians. And then they broke my door, and there was a lot of footsteps in my house. And they were very violent. I heard them like breaking the walls and doing a lot of mess in the house. And they reached my safe room door, which is metal, and they struggled with me to open it up. And I held on the handle to keep it locked. And I have an air conditioner ventilation on my ceiling. So I heard someone breaking the tunnel, and someone crawling there, and someone put a flashlight through the air conditioner and look inside the safe room. So I stood against the door that he won't see me. And then they set the apartment on fire. We have a WhatsApp group of our neighbors. Usually it's just someone asking for some medicine or maybe sugar, that kind of stuff. And that morning it was very active. And people said, yeah, there are terrorists at my house, they shot me, they're trying to break my house, they're setting my house on fire. So it wasn't a total surprise that they did it, but still you can't imagine, I'm in that situation. Like 2 hours before I was asleep, and now I'm in that situation. Smoke started to get under the door. So I took a blanket of one of my daughters and put it to seal it. And I took a pillow cover and put it over my face that I won't breathe all the smoke. And I held on to the handle and just sat like this on the fire. I was texting with my older daughter and with my ex-wife, and told them, listen, there are many terrorists inside my house. They set the house on fire. I would try to hold on. First I was thinking maybe if I wouldn't be able to hold on, I'll try to jump from the windows. But I heard terrorists on the roof and a tourist out of my windows. So I knew I have no chance in escaping. So I said, I'll stay in the room and I hold as long as I'll be able. And in the worst case, I'll just inhale enough smoke that I will be dizzy and fell asleep and maybe died, which is better than to be in their hands. So they were texting me all the time, like every 10 minutes, every 20 minutes, what's going on? Are you still holding on? Are you still holding on? And I was texting yes. And I changed in the phone that it won't take too many batteries because I knew it would take a long time, and I had no charger inside and no water, nothing. I wasn't prepared for that. And around 12:30, my ex-wife stopped responding to the messages. She stopped sending me messages. So I text my oldest son, Amit, what's going on with you? And he wasn't answering as well. Me, myself, I thought, okay, maybe they have no power, no electricity. Because I knew in their safe room, they need a router that it would work. Without a router, there is no communication. So that's what I told myself. Maybe that's the case. My daughter was panic about it, and my ex-wife's parents were panic about it, but I told them, I don't know, we have to pray, but maybe that's the case. Later on, we understand it wasn't the case. I held on in the safe room for many hours. The army didn't came till 3 o'clock, 3:30 in the afternoon. And only around 4:30, we started to hear the soldiers talking to each other in Hebrew. And that was a bit of relief, because I knew, okay, now they're getting the terrorists busy. and they won't be focused on entering my safe room and killing me. And the battle took a few hours, and I also heard something outside. Later on, I understand it was a tank. You hear some massive vehicle. And around 7 o'clock in the afternoon, in the evening, the soldier came to my house by mistake. And they knock on the door and say, is there anyone here? Is there anybody here? I talk with them a bit to be sure that they are not terrorists and they don't have any accent. And then I open up the door. I was barefoot, so they lift me by their hands, took me out of my house because I had a wood floor, parquet, and it was all burned to the ground. Later on, I can show you a movie of how the house looks now. So I had like 3 seconds to look at the house. I saw it's all dark, it's all burned, and they put me outside the door. And
What time is this around?
7 o'clock in the evening. And in front of me, there was my neighbor's house, Erwin Fricker, who is a Swiss guy that volunteered and got married and lived there. And his house was on fire, like huge flames going up. There was like no roof from the flames. And I said later on they came by mistake because in his house he had his daughter-in-law, which was pregnant in 9 months. She gave birth like 2 days after the event, around October 9th. So the soldier came to evacuate her, but I got lucky, they evacuated me as well. First they took us a bit down in the neighborhood to a certain house they consider more safe, like they clear it. And we've been there like 5 families for about another 2 hours. And then the army came with some Hummers, protected Hummers, and they took us inside the Hummers and evacuated us outside the kibbutz to a certain parking lot, which was also unsafe because at one time there was another terrorist that started to gunshots at the people there. But there was a lot of army there and they neutralized him. And after an hour or two, I think, I was evacuated by an ambulance to a hospital because I was inhaling a lot of smoke. I spent there a night and I came to this hotel. Now I'll tell you about my ex-wife and my son and my daughter's story. So as I said, I had no connection with them since 12:30 in the noon. When I was in the evacuation area, in the parking lot, around an hour later, after I came around 9 o'clock in the evening, they came around 10. And I saw my ex-wife and my 2 little daughters. And they were like crying, weeping, Amit was kidnapped, Amit was kidnapped. Amit is my son. But I have to say that I was relieved because first of all, I saw the 3 of them, the 3 out of 4, and he was kidnapped. He wasn't the other case that could be. And they said, okay, he's alive. It will be okay, I hope. That's what I feel. And they were evacuated quite fastly after that because there was a bus coming and they said, okay, all the women and children go on the bus and let's take them away from here. What they told me that, as I said, around 12:30, there was a group of 7 armed terrorists entering from the backside of their house. There was like a glass door there, so they broke it and entered the house and they came to the safe room and opened it. And Amit at first tried to struggle with them, but his mother told me, Amit, surrender, don't give any fight, because she was afraid that they're gonna shoot him. So he raised his hand and he went down on his knees. and they took them, all four of them, out of the safe room, and they put them on the grass outside the room. Emma, who was 12, she had only a shirt and a panties because she didn't have time to dress up. So they told her, come to your room, put some trousers, and then they went to the refrigerator and gave them water and told them drink the water. And then they entered the neighbor's house, the Sharabi family, and they took them also out of the safe room. There is the father, Yossi Sharabi, and the mother and three daughters, and the boyfriend of the older daughter, his name is Ophir Engel. And they took all of them a bit western to a certain road inside the kibbutz, and they tied their hands with ropes behind their back, only the man, the boy. And they brought a private black car, and they put Amit and Yossi and Ophir in the back seats. And one of the terrorists sat by the driver, and they drove away. And then I asked him, okay, and what about the rest of the 6 terrorists? What happened with them? They said, we don't know. They just like vanished. They disappeared. We don't know how to explain that. And then find themselves 2 mothers and 5 daughters on the grass, shouting in Arabic all around, chats all around. So eventually they said, okay, we have to take cover someplace. They went to the first house that was nearby. The door was locked. There was a bag with a RPG rockets inside the bag, and grenades and some weapons. So they didn't touch it, and they went behind and opened a certain window and crawled inside. And they knocked on the safe room door, but the old woman who lived there didn't open up. She thought they were tourists, so they just sat down on the floor in a certain room and hoped for the best. And luckily, the tourists didn't enter that house all that hours. And around 10 in the night, the soldiers came. And when they heard the Hebrew and the soldiers, they shouted like, there are children here, don't shoot, there are children here, don't shoot. And the army took them by foot outside the kibbutz and evacuated them. That's the story, more or less.
So in the meantime, do you have any other information about your son? How is it to...
Yeah, I mean, the story is very clear of a kidnapped. And the army, all that time, I've been in my safe room, there was like no Air Force at all. They didn't bomb Gaza all those hours. They didn't protect the border. It was like a freeway. So they came and they went and they came and they went, and nobody done anything. And they took their phones and they took jewelry and they took their computers and iPads. So after a few days, the army made a connection with us, and they told us they have indication that he's kidnapped in the Gaza. And today, I got a phone call from a certain colonel, a woman colonel, who is in relationship with us by the army, and she told me now it's in the highest level of certainty that he is there, in their eyes. They can't tell us how they got it, but that is the situation right now. He's like 16, as I said. He was kidnapped from his room. The safe room at my ex-wife's house it's his room. where he sleep. He's a good boy. He's very, very sweet, quiet boy. His major is cinema in school. He likes to surf. He loves his skateboard. He plays it all the time. He loves barbecue, to do the barbecue and to be an expert in that, even though he's not yet at the level that he wants to be. And we have to see him soon.
You wanted to show us something before
Okay.
what your house looks like.
Yeah, sure. To show it to the camera. First of all, this is a picture of him. I got like a few pictures of him, this one and this one. And to open them.
So meet Shani, 16 years old.
Yeah, he celebrated 16 last Saturday.
Sweet boy.
Yeah, it was like 2 weeks before his birthday. And this is a short movie of my house, how it looks right now.
זה הבית של ניר, אם רוצה לראות איך הבית.
This is not
אני יכול
a
להגיד
good.
שהוא במצב הכי טוב ממה שהייתי עד עכשיו.
There is another one, I'll find it. Let's see. Just a second. This one.
הבית של ניר שני, 608/1.
So all the floor is burnt, you said, because it's a hardwood floor.
Yeah, I think it kind of saved me, that wooden floor. First, because they set it on fire, so I think they thought I have no chance in staying alive, so they didn't make another effort to enter the safe room. And second, it probably burned really slow, because there are other houses that are completely burned. And this one you can see, yeah, it was on fire, but it's still standing. I don't know whether it's because I closed all the windows and there was not enough oxygen to allow the fire, or maybe something that held the fire.
Was it real wood floor or laminate?
No,
Hardwood.
a real oak floor. But maybe they put, I don't know the word in English, like מעכב בעירה.
Yeah, some kind of. So it won't be flammable.
Yeah, maybe something like that.
I'm also an interior designer, so it's just a little detail I'm going to remember from now on.
Yeah, I always thought that it's kind of dangerous that I have this wood floor, because it might catch on fire. But after what happened, I feel much more safe to do that again. And it's great to walk on wood and not on stones.
From the people that have been released right now, is there any information about the other people that are being kidnapped? Because
Not that we've been told, but it does not encourage, but like we feel a bit better, I think, after what they said, that they are being treated nicely, and they are giving showers every second day, and that they fed, because we didn't know what is the situation with them.
I guess they can't say where they're being held. Like nobody It's
underground.
Underground.
Yeah, that's what I said. That many tunnels. Yeah, and they can't say exactly what and where and so on. But yeah, that was the Palestinian main target all this time. They built nothing, like they create nothing. They're just interested in creating more and more terror, unfortunately.
Very strong. I don't know how I would. You're very strong. I don't know how I would deal if my kid was missing. I think I would.
I know. I heard
I'm
that
sure
a lot.
it's
I
such
tell you
a-
what. I really
Compulsion to be there, to go and save him, to something.
for some reason I'm like very sure that he's alive and that he would be okay. He's strong enough in his mind to go through it, and that eventually he would be released. But we do need the help of the world for that, because it won't happen otherwise. We do need everybody to take responsibility of their previous actions and those who led to this situation, because I think it could be prevented. But yeah, it's complicated now with the Palestinians. Their education is to hate us so badly, and the hope for peace, I think, no longer can be exist after what they did. We're Jewish, but we're not really religious in the kibbutz. And you can say that our second religion was the peace movement. Like every celebration, we were singing a peace song and wishing for peace, and oh, if we just do another effort, it would come. But we don't have any partners from the Palestinian side to reach that point. They hate us so badly and they're not willing, and there is no peace movement in the Palestinian side, not at all. They're just saying, yeah, we want to kill them all, we want to send them away. So it would take another generation or two with great efforts in education to change that, if at all. So now we have to stand strong, and after the kidnap situation will be solved, to see what can be done that it won't happen again.
Do you have more family in Kibbutz Be'eri? Like if you were born
Yeah, I
there?
haven't told you about it, because that's my main focus. But yeah,
Absolutely, it should.
I have two parents who are 79 years old. They never enter the safe room when there is an alarm, and they are like, they believe in faith. So we don't need to do anything to. And during that Saturday, my mother wrote in the WhatsApp families group, yeah, I can see the terrorists are moving from this neighbor to another neighbor. And my sister wrote, what's going on with you? Go to the safe room, stop acting like that. So they went in. And then they heard terrorists entering their house, breaking things, and later on there was quiet. So they went out. And my mother wrote, yeah, they broke some of my atitim,
Plants.
some of my plants, and they ruined the house, and they took my golf car. We have like golf car in the kibbutz, not vehicles. And my sister wrote, yeah, are you stupid or something? Go inside the room, stop doing that. So they went again inside. And later on, my father needed to poo. So he went to the toilet. And he did that. And he flushed the water because he didn't want it to stay. And they heard that. And they came. And then they shut the door. But he broke the handle on the other side, so they couldn't open it. but my mother did got 2 bullets in her belly, and she was bleeding like 9 hours till the army came. But luckily she survived. She had an operation, they took the bullet out, her liver got damaged, but she's kind of okay now. Really, pure luck.
Hospital somewhere around
Yeah, she was hospital for more than a week, I think, but she's with us now in the hotel. And my older sister, which is also living in the kibbutz, I got another sister who lives in Tel Aviv. My older sister, she got 2 children. Her elder daughter, she wasn't married with the guy, she made it with him, and he was killed and his house was burned to the ground. So my niece's father is dead. We buried him. He was the first one to bury it. And of course, many of my neighbors are dead, many, some kidnapped as well.
Do you see yourself going back and rebuilding the kibbutz?
It's a big question. I'll tell you what I think is the right answer for that. I think the most of us don't yet know how to answer it, because it depends on the situation with the Gaza Strip after the world will end. I think after what they did, we can't stay neighbors any longer. And there must be a certain solution to the problem. The kibbutz will be built. I don't know to tell you if it would be with all the people that live there. I think there are some who are very proud and won't give up and will return. But it's a cemetery. There's so many people died there, from our side and from the terrorist side, from the Palestinian. So you're going to live in a cemetery. There are some who say the community is more important. Maybe we can build the community someplace else. And there will be, for sure, people from Israel who are willing to live in the kibbutz, in those houses. That won't be a problem. Israel won't back from this village.
It's strategic to be just outside the strip, so we still have. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, in the Middle East, the land is very important. So people won't give up on their land. If you have no land, you're like not a human. You know, in Hebrew, a man is Adam and land is Adama. It's came from the same roots. So there is that. And there are some people, I believe, that had enough and will keep on living their life someplace else in some other community, and that's okay too. It's like a team of sports. It always changes with the certain individuals, but the team as a team keep to exist. That's what I think about it.
Are your kids here with you?
Yeah, my 3 daughters are with us, yeah.
They're okay?
My older daughter lost many friends of her. Her best friend from age 3 was shot dead and with her boyfriend. And another boy from her class was killed. So it touched her in many places. And she knows all the people around. There's so many funerals. So I can't say she's okay in that area. Emma, the second oldest, she's quite okay. She's all the time with her friends. She had a few bad days this week when they heard they have two missing kids from her group, and they've been told that one of them died. So it was a blow. and she didn't went out of the bed and of the room for like 2 or 3 days. But her friends are lifting her up, and she's a bit better, and she's strong. And the little one, Rani, she's 9, and she's still struggling. I mean, all the rest of us are able to tell the story. She's not. For her, it's still too hard, and she needs me or my ex-wife by her, with her. It's hard for a 9 years old. After all, she was also kidnapped by the terrorists. Luckily, she survived, but that's not the case in so many others. Yeah.
Pray for your son to return. I think you will. That your son will return.
I hope to. I hope that's so. Thank you.
That's my personal thing because there was a butterfly flying around.
Ah, really?
We were talking about him, so I was like, it's a good sign.
Yeah.
A few. One came colorful, another one came white. Every
I
time we
didn't
talk about
notice.
it, the actor was behind you.
Ah, great. Yeah, that's what I told you. It's like people can't understand, why are you not weak and crying? And I'm saying I'm full of hope for you that you will be returned. Immediately when they told me in the parking lot that he was kidnapped, the first thought is, okay, but he's okay. He's okay. We will come back. That was my feeling, and I still hang on to it, even though there are some days which are bad days, and you can't predict when it's gonna be. So we live a day by day. We don't know. And as you saw, my house is burned down, so I have no place yet to return, and it would take time. But our main focus is on him and returning him, and later on we'll figure it out.
Is there any other message you want to relay to anyone who might watch this?
Since we are talking to a university, I do think maybe we can approach the way that I feel about it. I think Israel don't explain itself good enough, the situations that we lived in. The Western world see the Palestinian in a very romantic and maybe even childish way. I think we really, really wanted to live by them and have peace with them, but they are not cooperating about it. And the Western world expect us to behave by a certain rule of engagement that are not common in the Middle East. It's like based on a night war in the mid-eve of Europe, but here it's so different, as you could see in October 7th. And we have to protect ourselves. We have no other choice. I wish it would be different, but for the time being, that is the situation we have to live in with. And we would have to do whatever is necessary to protect ourselves. I mean, the occupation all the time, it's not something that we want to do, it's just something that you have to do, because otherwise they'll be jumping to our throats and kill us. So we have no other choice but to do that in the most moral way that we can, I think. And we really wish it was another way to solve the problem, but that's the situation, that's the reality we live in. And the world should understand that and demand the Palestinians to change their ways and stop supporting, because they get a lot of support and it's not helping to solve the problem. Yeah. Okay. תודה.